Hi, hi. How are you? Welcome to my podcast. My name is Rochelle, and I have a podcast and a website called Feeding a Crowd. I am on Instagram, Facebook, and here on YouTube and Pinterest. Yes, super duper on Pinterest. So I'm super happy to see you. Hi, La Flèche. I'm so happy you joined us. And it's a great and very, very, very warm day. Well, it's hot. It's actually so in Celsius here today. It's approximately 34 degrees. That would be with the heat felt at 42 to 45. And Fahrenheit, that would be 93 degrees. The humidity is around 44 to 45%, and that makes it feel like 108. So basically, it's like walking in a mist of hot, miserable humidity. But I still like it. Summer's short here, so you just gotta enjoy it while it's there and get some cool time, which I am doing now, obviously. Surprise, surprise, it gets really hot in Quebec now, doesn't it? I'm really happy to see you guys. Say hi in the chat if you want, and please do a like, thumbs up for me. YouTube really likes it. So today on the menu is we're going to talk about garlic scapes and strawberries and rhubarb because those are the things that are right now the most abundant. Rhubarb, rhubarb came out a bit earlier, but it comes a bit earlier than does the strawberries, but it keeps right, and it lasts till at least the end of June. You just got to keep on harvesting it. And then there's garlic scapes. Look at these. I have garlic scapes. I have a lot. I have more, but these are just a few. Super tender, super hot, spicy. Well, hot, spicy because it's not, it's not a hot pepper, but it's as hot as a hot pepper. It's a thing about garlic scapes. I love them. So we'll talk about all of that today. If you have questions, feel free, and be part of this wonderful chat that I so enjoy. Also, I'm gonna give a small Lafish asked me for no bake recipes. You know what you do? You don't want to cook today unless you have super air conditioning. You don't want to cook today. So no bake recipes, which I'm going to finish with. So how's that? First of all, today I published my strawberry muffins. Now, when you have muffins like these, they're fresh. These are not. They're local, and oh, the smell, dear Lord, the smell. There has to be a strawberry perfume somewhere. So yeah, so these don't keep forever. Once you put them in the fridge, they taste a bit less. So you just try to use them within a day or two, and then you put them in the fridge. And when they're not as beautiful, they're perfect for muffin making. So the recipe is there. Now, when I make muffins, I usually have, well, I used to have my kids that I would feed, and I didn't, never wanted a muffin that was just white flour and sugar. I always felt I needed to make it as nutritious as possible, which is what is in that muffin. So my muffins were always made, first of all, with unbleached flour, and I would add another kind of flour. I'm in love with spelt flour. I know I talk about spelt flour, but I love the fact that it's an ancient grain and it's unmodified and that it's so good for us. So the muffins have the spelt flour in them. They have Greek yogurt for protein content, bananas because bananas always make muffins moist and also add nutrition. And then there's the strawberries, right? So if you think about it, you got really good flour, you have eggs, bananas. Yes, there's sugar. Do whatever you want with the sugar. I just happen to like my muffins a bit sweet. And I find the kids eat them if there's a bit of sugar in them, and they just don't taste like dried sand. So bananas, and then we have the Greek yogurt, the spelt flour, the strawberries, and the buttermilk. Buttermilk is super good for us. So if you look at that list of recipe of ingredients minus the sugar, um, you got something pretty healthy that you can give your kid with no guilt. So have at it. Anyway, so I hope you enjoy that recipe and let me know. Let me know. Also, I made an amazing strawberry rhubarb cobbler for my grandson William's birthday last week. He's 7. He's 8 now. Anyways, cutest thing ever. So for him and Metzis, and my other son was coming over, and his favorite dessert, bar none, is strawberry rhubarb cobbler. So it's a win-win. You have that with ice cream. It's amazing. In French, here in Quebec, we would have croustade most of the time. Cobbler is not as popular. Croustade is like an apple crisp. So we use the apple crisp topping and put it on top of the strawberries and rhubarb. That's how we do it. Quebec, that's how we would do it. It's called croustade aux fraises et rhubarbe. Oh yes, la flèche. You can cut it down to a quarter cup. I mean, you could use a maple syrup, a quarter cup maple syrup. I mean, I find that sugar is the easiest ingredient to replace. It changes a bit the texture of your muffin, but since it's not a cake, it doesn't matter. Because so, muffins are, as long as you don't over stir your muffin will be fine. So yeah, just, honey, maple syrup, maple sugar, um, use less. I mean, just don't worry about it, is my thing, you know. I often bring them as treats to other places, and I find that, some people wouldn't understand. And of course, the sugar I use is unprocessed sugar. It could increase cooking time, but you could also just up your flour a bit, add another half cup of flour for the texture and the cooking time. That's probably what I would do, is I would play with how much yogurt, maybe add an egg. Like when I make my muffins, I often add an egg, remove an egg, add more buttermilk, use less buttermilk. Because I use the buttermilk at the end to control my texture. Of course, I can't say that when I write the recipe, because that's just weird to most people. They want the exact ingredients, the exact amount of time. Except to me, making muffins is so instinctual that I just make them without thinking. So it's really always very hard for me to write down a muffin recipe, because I just do it. So yeah, so use your dry and wet ingredients and control the texture with your last liquid when you're alternating your buttermilk and flour. Does that make sense? So yes. Um, and it's a bit like that with the biscuits too. The biscuit topping you make for if I was to play with it, I would also, again, play with the liquids and flour content. Anything texture wise is like that. Just like when I make pizza dough, I haven't followed a pizza dough recipe in so long. I think I would probably lose my mind if I had to, you know? So because you just know that it's always so many parts of liquid for so many parts of flour. And then you add the oil, and you just, if you put an egg, you use less water, because there's eggs when you make focaccia, but there's not if you're making pizza dough. And so things like that. And so it is strawberry and rhubarb season. And frankly, have the strawberries. Also, when the boys came for William's birthday, I served them, which is my mother. Thank you, mother. Tradition. My mother, she wouldn't serve it to us, but she'd have it herself, because we were too many kids for her to do this. But she would just have a big bowl of strawberries and pour 35% cream on it, and then put sugar. And you don't put a lot of sugar. It's almost a texture thing, not a sweet thing, except at the end. So, and then I made that for William and Matisse. I just bowl of strawberries. I poured in front of them. I poured the cream. Their eyes were this wide. They were so cute. And then when they saw me take out the sugar, they were like almost like shaking, watching me put a few sprinkles of sugar on their bowl of strawberries. And you just dig in. It's just so delicious. It's at the end when the cream is left, and it tastes like strawberries and cream with a bit of sugar. and that's just like gorgeous. So yes, that's, I think I still find one the best ways is to have this. Also on my website, there's a recipe for fresh strawberry pie. So basically, you put fresh strawberries in a pie crust of your choice. I like to use the wow, the word just it's a sweet dough. It's like a sweet butter dough instead of a pie dough. Oh, come back to me. And you put your strawberries in, then you make a gelatin using strawberries, or you can buy the commercial one, and you just pour it on top, and you put that in the fridge, and you're basically serving a piece of fresh strawberry pie that's not cooked. It blows your mind how delicious it is. So that recipe is on my blog. I haven't revamped it yet, but I'll try to do that this week. I'm trying to revamp all my strawberry. I also have a strawberry bar recipe. So easy and so delicious. So that one too, I'm going to revamp and try to repost in the next few weeks, because I'm slowly going through all the recipes, and it's very time consuming, but I am getting through it. Now I have 2 recipes that I need to revamp and then repost, and with the printable cards and everything. So it's that time of the year. So, yes, iced tea. Today is a day for iced tea. Don't forget about my recipe. This iced tea is the best thing to drink today. I don't put a lot of sugar in mine. That's how I like it. When I have guests, sometimes I put a little bit more sugar because, they're used to sweet tea, like super sweet tea, the one you buy. That's not what this is, but it's absolutely delicious. And so the next thing that La Flèche and I, thank you, La Flèche. By the way, that cake of yours, if you could post that cake here, I would love that. Or if you could post it, the cake you made for Grand-Maman Pinson, if you could put that on my Feeding a Crowd Facebook page or Instagram page, I think that would be awesome. Or even on my Pinterest page, if you can find Feeding a Crowd, because I think it is. So she made a strawberry chamomile cake. It's absolutely gorgeous. So I think the idea is great. And I would actually post that recipe in my cake section if I ever made it, because it's just beautiful. And chamomile is so amazing. Chamomile just smells like honey. Anyways, that's another tangent. Thank you. Can you do that? Well, yeah, if you can, yeah, please do that. Wow. You see, I can't. I can start a Q&A or a poll. So I don't know where I can add pictures here. But yes, please find a way to share that with us, please, please, please. So so the next thing, the next thing is I lost some. Yes. So regarding these capes, like I said, these are hot. Like they smell hot. Like my eyes will water if I do this anymore. So I was looking. I use them everywhere. I know that's weird, but I literally can use capes in anything and nearly in everywhere. I just use them because they're absolutely mind-bogglingly delicious. Of course, some people let the flour, and then you have garlic flour, which is very nice and sensitive, and very light and floral, but still like garlic. So it's the best way to have garlic if you're not a garlic lover. But I wanted the scapes, so here you go. Love this. But the 3 recipes that people use these more are in pesto, compound butter, and I found that, well, I was in my research, potato soup. So garlic potato soup, which the ingredients are super simple. I'm pretty sure I'm going to make it because I think it's amazing. So basically, it's garlic scapes, onions, broth, potatoes. I'm going to use smoked paprika, salt, pepper, and a bit of cream to bind everything together. So I think that's one of the recipes I make. For the pesto, I have to try it. It depends. If I can find a lot, of because I know I can buy them from the local farms. Then I think I'm going to make pesto and preserve some for this winter. Imagine having this flavor this winter. It's going to be like mind blowing because, well, for me, because I like them, right? And you know, like the garlic scape pesto, it's just garlic scape, parmesan, pine, or the nuts of your kind. Don't forget, pine nuts are very expensive, and if you buy them, keep them in your freezer. They do go rancid, and it's so expensive. You don't want to do that. Some people use sunflower seeds, olive oil, lemon juice, and salt. Just a classic pesto. You replace the basil with your garlic scapes. And you know, compound butter. I mean, you use these. You need to chop them super fine, or like super fine, and then lemon zest, salt, and black pepper. So this would be amazing over grilled steak and fish, corn on the cob. Yum. And you can even sear it to warm rice and mashed potatoes. So you know, I think compound butter is a bomb. I just love having it around, no matter what. Yeah, well, potato soup in the summer. You know what? I thought that was weird too. But we have a lot of new potatoes right now, which are hard to make potato soup with. But I might create the recipe because sometimes when it's this hot outside, we're inside in the air conditioning, and then we can have hot food, right? So maybe I will do that. I mean, there's something about oof. There's something about potato soup that is so heartwarming. And I was wondering, you know, usually we always put cheese in a potato soup. And then I'll create it so you can try it and then help me figure out what's wrong with it or if there's something wrong. There's always some adjustments, right? It's all part. Oh, look. Oops, no, this side. See, I have my iced tea is sunning, right? Because it's sun tea. It's actually not made with hot water. So there you are. And yeah, so I think escapes, and they're super good for us. So like I said, next fall I'm going to fill one of my boxes with garlic, so I can have a lot more. Yeah, I think I'm going to take up every space on the lawn just to grow stuff. Flash, did your dad plant blue potatoes again? Because because I wanted to and I couldn't find any. So I'm gonna ask him for a few blue potatoes for next year. Because obviously we use potatoes to plant potatoes. That's what the not blue. No, he had normal potatoes. Okay. So I read that the blue potatoes are the one that keep the best over winter and are actually super tasty. So next year I'm gonna find some. I'm gonna need more boxes. I need farmland right now. Someday that's all I'll do is gardening. Right now I can't do that, just gardening, but but I want to. Damn things. Anyways, so there you go. Calm down. Oh, you know what? If I could have a rant today, what it would be about is water in Quebec. Did you know that Canada is the country with the most natural, like non-salted water? How do you say that? How do you say that? We have fresh water. Okay, so Canada is the most fresh water. Quebec is, I think, the province with the most water. And here, in my very un anyway, this town is not well run. I think it must be run by kindergarten people. I swear to God, the things they do. You're always like, I think they must hire engineers that never got to practice engineering, that read a lot of books, because I am freaking out. We are in the province with the most water. We are allowed to water 2 hours a week, once a week for 2 hours. What do you water in 2 hours? Nothing. My town needs to be run by at least sixth graders for us to understand that you can't grow a town if you have not enough water to supply it. When we know we have enough water to supply it, but you're just not smart enough to get it to us. Oh my God, I could go on and on about this. 2 hours per week. Yes, I'm going to get rid of every person that does not have the acumen to figure out solutions instead of creating more things in parks that look nice or completely useless while we don't have water. No, we do have water. We just can use it only 2 hours a week. We live in Quebec, people. We have water everywhere. That's my rant for the week. I might do that every week. But anyways, back on the subject. So, subject number 3 is no-bake meals. I was thinking, well, no-bake desserts is easy, right? My favorite no-bake dessert in the summer, strawberries and cream. Strawberries and ice cream. Oh my God. Strawberries and ice cream with a coulis of chocolate. Oh my God. Anything fresh fruit, right? I mean, that, of course, we have the no-bake cheesecake. Super fun to make, super easy to make. We can make fruit salads. Super fun to make, super easy to make. Frankly, to me, fresh fruit and cream, it's hard to beat. Strawberries are my favorite. Raspberries you have to eat really quickly. They get mushy and it's weird. And blueberries work too. So, maybe strawberries and blueberries. Because now strawberries, they used to finish. By the 21st of July, there were never any strawberries for Levi's birthday. The one time I used raspberries, instead he refused to eat his birthday cake because I should have remembered that he hates raspberries. But there were no strawberries left because every year he gets his Angel Foods cake. Every single year since I can remember. Anyways, but now we get the strawberries till August because they're called late or fall strawberries, even though it's not fall yet. So yeah, so strawberries. Get them locally, people. So much better. So for the no bake, great ideas. I'm only gonna talk about 2 recipes because I feel that you can't. Oh, I'm gonna go back to scapes. So in preserving scapes, sorry, I'm bouncing here. It's the iced tea. So on reading about it, because the first year I have my own scapes, you can freeze them, which I'm going to do because I have a thing where it removes the air from the bag, when preserving the fish. Can you help me? Like a sealer, anyways, and you just cut them up, you put them in the bag and you freeze them. Some people blanch them. I like blanching, actually. I do it a lot, but I don't want to remove the heat from these, right? And so a vacuum sealer. Yeah, I have a cute little vacuum sealer, not a big, boring one. And you can just chop them and freeze them. The other second best way is to put them in ice cubes with butter, and you use them that way. And the other way is pesto. The 3 best way to preserve scapes is that. I'm just going to freeze mine. And then there was a thing, well, some people blanch them, but you don't have to. You don't have to blanch these. They're clean. They're not lying on the ground. They don't have dirt on them. You rinse them, you let them dry, and you freeze them. The reason some people blanch them is because, let me look at my research, is because enzyme deactivation. Vegetables contain natural enzymes that cause flavor, color, and texture loss over time, even in the freezer. Blanching briefly in boiling water deactivates these enzymes, helping preserve quality for a longer period. However, if you plan on using them for 9 months, there's no need to do that. Texture improvement. Blanching can soften the fibrous parts of the scape slightly, which might be preferable for sauteing or soup applications later. However, this can also dull the natural crunch if you're using them raw in recipes or quick sautés. 3, bacteria and surface cleanliness. A quick blanch can kill surface microbes and reduce any lingering dirt or garden residue. Don't care. Before freezing, acting as a basic food safety step, though this is usually more critical for leafy greens or root vegetables. Like I said, these don't touch the earth. Thank you, vacuum sealer. So, yes. Personally, I use them in pasta, and I use them in sheet pan meals, and I use them in soups and stir fries. I use them in everything. Now, if only we could have these all year round. Yum. Okay. So I think if you have more questions about garlic scapes, by the way, they have them at the corner. I've seen them before at the corner market, La Flèche. So if you want to have some. And they're hot. So cooking them really does take the heat away, though. Cooking them more. Cooking them less, you still get that nice heat to the scapes. So if we look at quick summer easy meals that your kids might actually eat, okay, one of the most popular obviously is going to be a salad. Okay, so Mediterranean chickpea salad, easy enough. It's just chickpeas, cucumbers, cherry tomatoes, red onions, olives, feta, olive oil, lemon juice, herbs, lots of herbs, especially if they're fresh. Chickpeas are full of proteins. You don't need to cook it. Your kids are getting what you want. You could add a seitan to it, which it's hard to explain. I love it. I don't even know how to say it. But I'm researching it right now because I've discovered it while I was hospitalized for a while. We were buying from Good Food and cook it, and we got a few meals with seitan. And Michelle and I loved it. And so it was a really fun discovery. I don't know if we have them in the local markets, but it's actually pretty delicious. It's called, okay, so it's pronounced seitan. It's a high protein meat substitute made from wheat gluten. That's why I like it. It's not made from soy. I don't mind soy products, but something different, and it's really delicious. So the main protein is meat. It's been used for centuries, especially in East Asian and Buddhist vegetarian cuisine as a meat alternative. So seitan is created by washing the wheat flour with water to remove the starch, leaving behind the sticky, elastic gluten. This gluten is then cooked, seasoned, and shaped into various forms, sometimes simmering in broth, baked, or steamed, giving it a chewy meat-like texture. Anyways, I love them in sandwiches, and I believe it would be a good option for this chickpea salad. And now the thing we have to do is find it. What does it taste like? Well, like every other meat replacement, it's mild and savory with a subtle nutty or weedy flavor. But it's very absorbent, so it takes marinades, broths, and spices beautifully, much like tofu or chicken, right? The texture is firm and chewy. So if you want to know why do people use it, because it's a plant-based protein powerhouse, 21 grams per serving. It's very versatile. You can even barbecue it, and there is no soy. Not everyone wants soy, and a lot of people are allergic to soy. So I just want to talk about seitan. So it's spelled like this and pronounced like this. There. So yeah, that's salad. It's chickpea salad. And what I love about making food like a Mediterranean chickpea salad is that it keeps for lunch, and you have a bit, and you can give it to the babies, right? So I think it's a great idea. In fact, I have chickpeas. Watch me have that for supper, because obviously I have all kinds of other stuff here too. I mean, I have, what I would add to that salad, because I just saw here, I have roasted tomatoes, and I have these roasted peppers. And I got these black peppers, right? Dry. It's the first time I buy them. They're super salty, which I love. And they're good, but they're very different. And I think in tonight's salad, like yum, that's going to add like a really good, I don't know how to say it, but a really good wow of flavor. So I actually couldn't do that tonight. Now, if only I could find seitan today, but everything's closed. It's a holiday here. The second no bake summer is wraps or lettuce cups. I know it sounds boring, but if you already have any kind of cooked meat in the house, like leftover chicken, canned tuna, don't forget, people, always have canned tuna in your pantry. It's a staple. We need it. Shredded veggies of any kind, avocado, hummus. Hummus, really important, really good. Protein, tzatziki or vinaigrette, and you can use tortillas, you can use romaine. It's no cook. You just like get in the kitchen and you have fun. If you want to add a little zing to it, you actually marinate your cucumbers in rice vinegar and a bit of smoked paprika, and you let that in ice, and you let that like for an hour. And once you put them, because I'm using rice vinegar. I'm using rice vinegar because it's not vinegary, and the kids like it. It's like, so it just adds crunch and a little added yumminess to your wraps. So, and if you have roasted peppers like I do here, it's just wraps are super fun in the summer. And I used to make, with leftover chicken, I would make Caesar wraps all summer long. And the kids never, ever complained. In fact, there was never enough. So thank goodness we could have ice cream cones after supper, because that was like, look, there's no more, but I'll give you an ice cream cone. You got to do stuff in the summer when you run out of food. So, yeah, those are my no bake ideas. I mean, like I said, for desserts, just have something fresh. If there's ice cream, have ice cream. But I mean, fresh fruit, fresh strawberries, no bake. And of course, there's a no bake cheesecake, which is so easy to make, because you don't have, if there's no eggs in it, you don't have to cook it. And so that's always a good option. Um, I mean, basically, right? It's crushed graham crackers. Some people use granola, cream cheese, Greek yogurt, or whipped cream, touch of honey or sugar, topped with your favorite fruit, right? In this cake, probably strawberries. But you can also mash your strawberries with a little bit of lemon juice and a little bit of sugar, and you put it on top. And it just brings out the yumminess, and adds tartness and the sweetness to your cheesecake. Probably removing a bit of the the creaminess. Yeah. So have I covered everything? Oh no, I don't have a no bake cheesecake. There, it's everywhere. I mean, there's no bake cheesecake. I wouldn't. No, my next dessert I think that I'm going to make is the angel foods cake, because I make it so much, and I actually never made it, wrote it down, and put it on the website. So my next favorite thing to make is angel foods cake. So I think that's going to be my next dessert, la flèche. Because yeah, I mean, no bake, I think you could almost use it from the box of cream cheese that we buy. But what would be interesting is to make a no bake cheesecake out of yogurt, Greek yogurt. I think that would be sort of cool. Is that possible? No, that's something we have to research. And Nefesh, I hope you look into seitan, unless you're gluten free. Yeah, that would not be good. Yeah, I think that's it for today. I think I have. I think I've covered a lot of topics. The topics I will be looking for new topics for next time. I'm going to put some of these subjects on my website. I'm going to cut down this video, hopefully, even though I go back and forth, and I shouldn't do that. Anyways, thank you for coming here and supporting me. I really appreciate it, my friends. And let's stay in touch this week and see what we're doing. And I am Rochelle, feedingacrowd.com, and I'll see you soon. Stay cool, everyone.